Hey, what's going on, Internet? Took the day off yesterday because we were having some stormy problems. You saw at the end of the last video, the power cut out. But we're going to finish off the last of the gold card archetypes with the Rakdos. It's more of just a... I mean, yes, it's a sack steal deck, but it's more on the sacrifice part than the stealing part. And for those wondering about the deck name, Honorable Sudoku would not fit. So it's just Sudoku. And yes, I know what it's really supposed to say as far as, self-sacrifice. But we say Sudoku here and elsewhere on the internet. And also for those wondering why all my deck boxes look the same now, because, they show your deck box and your persona at the beginning of every match. And I don't know. Just make them look all the same so you don't give them any tells. Try hard status confirmed. Anyways, let's go through the deck list real quick. 2 Bone Splinters, 4 Perilous Mirror, 1 Shadows of the Past, 1 Fiery Conclusion, 4 Dragon Fodder, 1 Liliana, 3 Fleshbag Marauder, 4 Deadbridge Shaman, 4 Nantuko Husk, 4 Act of Treason, 2 Enthralling Victor, 3 Blazing Hellhound, which is what we're building around. I don't know. I mean, he's alright. Like, if I were to redo, I think it might be a little bit better to get rid of him. Like, if you still wanted to keep this theme, but I don't know yet. He's still pretty good. 2 Priests of the Blood Rite, and the Miser's Cruel Revival. Still playing 24 lands, but again, with the 2 Evolving Wilds, so you usually count those as half a land each. So it's really 23. So still 4 tap lands, but 2 of them are Guildgates and 2 of them are Wilds. It's a 10 Swamp, 8 Mountain, 2 Dragonskull Summit, 2 Gate, 2 Evolving Wilds. So what does this guy do? You sacrifice another creature, and the Hellhound does 1 damage to target creature or player. So we kind of want to jam-pack our guys who we don't really mind sacrificing. And when I say mind, like, you don't want to just sacrifice and just do it. You want to do it for value. So we got the 4 Perilous Mirrors. When they die, they do 2 damage to target creature or player. And, any non-token thing of ours dies, Liliana flips. So this is definitely a Liliana deck. We got 4 Dragon Fodder, which really, makes the deck hum. It won't flip Liliana, but, it's still good with everything else. Got when Deadbridge Shaman dies, target opponent discards a card. It's still a 3/1. You usually keep their side of the board fairly clean, so, 3 power is not something to be ignored. He only has a, 1 toughness. But, if they actually use a removal spell on your Deadbridge Shaman, you're still 2 for 1ing them. Like, you get the removal spell and you get the card out of their hand. It's not a random card. It's not as good as Black Cat. But, it's still a card. And then the Nantuko Husk, kind of the same as the Hellhound. Except it just gives itself +2/+2 until end of turn. Instead of doing, 1 damage to whatever. Also, another thing to keep in mind, Hellhound cannot sacrifice himself to himself. And you have to pay mana for this. Whereas Nantuko Husk can sacrifice itself to itself for, whatever reason. And then, you have the combo with Act of Treason. You steal something, and then you sack it to Nantuko Husk or Blazing Hellhound. Or use that as Bone Splinters fodder or Fiery Conclusion fodder. And speaking of fodder, it's another good thing about having a Dragon Fodder. Because then, it makes these, cards live. Oops, not that. You have the Miser's Shadow of the Past. I mean, a lot of shit's going to die. It doesn't do anything. But, if you can, get this down on turn 2. This isn't like a super aggro deck. But, you get this down on turn 2. You get a lot of value. And, it's a ability, it can allow you to beat a control deck. A lot of your shit will die. We have, 23 actual creatures. Plus, 27 counting the Dragon Fodder. And then at the high end here, we have the Priest of the Blood Rite. When it comes into play, you put a 5/5 Black Demon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. And then you're still left with a 2/2 on the ground. But it has the upkeep, you lose 2 life. So, if you're at a high life, you don't have to sacrifice them right away. You kind of just, keep swinging into the opponent. And they can either get rid of it for you, like if you don't have a sack outlet, or they can take an extra 2 every turn, but you're still taking that 2 as well. But like I said, we have a, Husk, Hellhound, Conclusion, and Bone Splinters to get rid of the the 2/2 if it starts becoming a problem. And then the Miser's Cruel Revival here for, you know, there's a big dude and somehow, you know, we can't, you know, combo off with a Husk, Hellhound, and a Treason effect because the Enthralling Victor only hits things 2 or less, but the Active Treason will hit anything. So, you know, if we don't have the engine going, you know, this will just, you know, take care of the creature. And, you know, you return the zombie card from your graveyard to your hand, and Nantuko Husk also happens to be a zombie, as well as the Fleshbag Marauder. So it's not too hard to get value out of the Miser's Cruel Revival. And then speaking of Fleshbag Marauders, we have those, like, you know, something that can flip Liliana right away. Or, you know, you play the Fleshbag Marauder, and you can just, you know, if you want the 3/1 that bad, you just sack the Perilous Mirror or a Fodder token. Or, you know, if you want to get their last card out of their hand, you sack the Deadbridge Shaman. If you have 6 mana, you Treason their guy. And then, you know, you can Fleshbag it away and cause them to sack another guy. So, you know, it just depends on where you are, where your land count is, all the different shit you can do. But as you can see, probably, I'm sure at least one person's losing their mind that there's 0 Reeve Souls in the deck. Like I say, you know, we got so many different ways to, you know, to get rid of our creatures. You know, the 2 Bone Splinters, Fiery Conclusion, 3 Fleshbag, the 6 Treason effects with our Husk Hellhound combo, and the Miser's Cruel Revival. So I think it's you know, this is a deck that can really take advantage of Fiery Conclusion and Bone Splinters. So I think we can leave Reeve Soul on the sidelines to fit in some of this other shit. And, you know, that also goes, you know, for Twin Bolt and Fiery Impulse on the red side. Like I said, I think we have enough, you know, removal spells already to not really want to take advantage of that. And the Goblin Arsonist, I mean, that 1 damage, it's not very exciting to me. I'd rather go, you know, a little bit better, keep their board clean. You know, you just start beating down with 3 power dudes. Eventually get there. So that's the gist of it. The mana, you know, it's kind of more heavily skewed towards swamps than mountains, but I still have almost like a 50-50 split. You know, maybe it could bump up 1 swamp minus 1 mountain. But we don't really have any black 2-drops, and we do have 4 red 2-drops. Most of our 3-drops are in black, though. So we still want to maintain a healthy amount of mountains. So yeah, everything's the same now. And for those who wonder what happened at the end of last game, my opponent quit, and then my power went out before I could take down the AI. I neither lost nor gained a rank. And if you're looking at that rank going, oh, rank 20, you fucking scrub, I'm rank 40 already. Just know that I have played every single one of my ranked games on camera. So you can follow along with me as I grind to the top of the step ladder. So speaking of grinding, let's keep going. So 27 games, rank 20. I think we're actually a 23-3-1. The 1 draw being good old stormy weather causing me to lose power at the end of my last game 3. So 27 games so far, halfway to reaching the top of the step ladder. I think that's all right. I assure you, if I did not have this channel to worry about, like, I probably would have hit 40 on Saturday. It's not going to take that long. They really need to bump that thing up or just uncap it. Oh no, are we having the 2015 special? I mean, it hasn't been as bad as 2015, but it hasn't been as quick as some of the older games either. And I don't know if that's just, you know, player base or if the servers are just slow. I don't know. It certainly can't be, you know, it's trying to match me with someone of like rank, since, you know, it's all over the place. You know, I played a 40, and then usually I play 0s or 1s. But we'll see. Now, a couple of other people have been wondering, you know, the salt hasn't really been present lately. There just really hasn't been much cause for salt. When I said there are very few, you know, auto I win cards in this pool, I mean, you know, there's sort of a few. Like, you know, when I played the Azorius Flyers deck, it was either you have a Languish right now or I'm going to win. He had the Languish, so I pretty much lost. Even though that took that game forever. You know, we kept fighting, but really, you know, getting 4 for 1 from a Languish, that was going to be pretty much it. But let's see what kind of salt I can bring in. I see a lot of people bitching that when someone quits, they're like, I shouldn't have to play against the AI. I won. Like, the way I look at it is, when you play against somebody, like, not only are you playing against them, you're playing against the deck they built. So even though they leave, you're still kind of playing against the deck that they built. So in my mind, you're still playing against that guy, just, you know, now the AI is piloting it. And in a lot of cases, the AI does it better than the person who built it. So all these people who think they deserve their win, or like, most of the bitching you hear about, like, I hate fucking 2-land hands. I'm going to bitch about that. But I guess I'll keep this one. Even though this is basically a mole to nothing. This Act of Treason is no good without an outlet. And if he goes Vanguard into Hieromancer here, I could be in a little bit of trouble. So we'll bluff the red removal spell that's not in our deck. But you know, we have double mirror, as long as he doesn't get too crazy. Or go Nimbus Wings. I mean, if he goes Nimbus Wings, then we're going to, you know, have to find the Nantuko Husk and a 3rd land stat. Yeah, no, I get a lot of people bitching, like, you know, they feel like they should still get the win, even though they lost after the AI took over for their opponent. I'm like, no, you don't deserve the win. You lost. How could you deserve something you didn't get? Like, I think it's a lot of people are spoiled from Hearthstone. All right, so there's the 3rd land. So that's sort of good. We don't have our sack outlets yet. Like I said, we only have 10 really, and 3 of them are removal spells. We only have 4 free sack outlets in the Nantuko Husk. I guess I didn't really go into why I didn't play the Bloodflow Connoisseur, because I just think it sucks. Like, with all the Reef Souls running around, like, you know, you have to, like, really... Is this guy gonna let me 2 for 1 him? For 2 damage? I accept your terms. I can't imagine what combat trick he could have. Alright, so I 2 for 1'd him, and I took 2 damage. Like I said, I will accept his terms. Alright, Guildgate, no. Let's just get the Deadbridge Shaman out there. Turn 4, if we draw an untapped land, we will probably go Shadows Mirror. And it just depends on what he plays if I bring this guy home, or hold him home, whatever you want to call it. Alright, in the interest around playing, not really playing around, but in the interest of getting value, just in case he Celestial Flares us, I will play the Shadows of the Past and forego playing the Mirror this turn. You know, I'll get my 3 in. And instead of the Guildgate, I actually just want to strip a land out of my deck to decrease the likelihood of drawing another land, because I don't want to draw anymore. 5 is usually the sweet spot. Okay, Angelic Edict on the Deadbridge Shaman. Okay, one of the few cases where I don't get the 2 for 1 there. But, you know, a 5 mana sorcery, 5 mana each your whole turn. I lose a Deadbridge Shaman. I will take that trade. I mean, we're not really pressuring him too much. So this is an easy Dragon Fodder Perilous Mirror turn. Eventually, you know, when shit starts dying, the Shadows of the Past will allow us to scry out of this mini jam that we're in. Only got 1 creature. This requires a 4 before we can start triggering it. So really, we only have 2 ways to start triggering it now, but he might be flooded for real. I don't know what he could be sitting on. So again, in the interest of playing around Angelic Edict. Oh, you could have Reprisal here. Okay. So that is definitely a thing you have. Like I said, the Hellhound can't sacrifice itself to itself, and I'm not going to take my damage output off the table. Like, I'm still going to get this 2 damage off the mirror, so there was no sense in start shooting stuff. Again, it's a shame that's not a zombie Hellhound. I mean, we still have the Cruel Revival to deal with one huge threat. He could just be sitting on a hand of all reprisals, is what it looks like. Okay, we have the Fleshbag. So, we're doing 3 a turn. So we actually have 3. We have 2 edicts and a removal spell, a hard removal spell. We go Fleshbag, sack Fleshbag, Cruel Revival to get back Fleshbag. And, depending on what he does, we can Fleshbag one of these guys away to increase our damage output, but I'm gonna play it safe. But you know what? If we get the 6th land, we can have the Act of Treason, Fleshbag Marauder, a Wombo motherfucking combo. And good thing to note, 2 creatures in the yard now. Alright, Divine Favor, gaining some life. So like I said, just would have undone, like if we started shooting shit with Hellhound before it died, it just would have been a waste. 6 land? Nope. Alright, not going to complain about that. So he probably has another reprisal, so playing this Hellhound and trying to get a Treason value is probably a little bit of a waste right now. So I'm just going to Fleshbag, sack Fleshbag, since we have a Cruel Revival in hand. If we didn't have the Cruel Revival in hand, I would sack probably one of the Dragon Fodder tokens, but since we have the Revival, it makes perfect sense to get value out of our Cruel Revival. And we get the double scry. Do I want an Enthralling Victor? Yeah, I guess. Even though we don't have a sack outlet yet, I think that's an okay draw. I mean, it has 3 power. I probably should have scried that to the bottom, but I don't know. Just depends. Okay, Boonweaver Giant. So it's not going to really be a true 2-for-1 since he's getting that one thing for free. Maybe he's just on a mono Boonweaver Giant. Those are the other cards in his hand. So we can Revival now and get in for another 3, or we can try and set up for Hellhound. I think we could take a turn off to try and set up for Hellhound. Because if he kills it, then, we can start burning him out with Shadows of the Past. Land. Okay. The blowout's real, boys. So now, actually, I can just block with Mirror. What's he get in Nimbus Wings? Oh, hey, Hakeem, are you watching? This is how you take advantage of your Perilous Mirrors. So we do 1 damage to him with the Hellhound's ability. Then when the Perilous Mirror gets sacked, we do the 2 damage to the token. Get a double scry here. Priest of the Blood Rite is perfectly fine with me. So his hand is empty, and he is actually dead next turn? Yeah. We hit him for 14 next turn. I mean, we take 7, but who gives a shit? Is this guy really going to trade 7 for 6, not knowing what I had? Oh, he has Vigilance because of the Knightly Valor. But, he flooded out pretty hard, but he also was running, like, Boonweaver 7? No, it's, yeah, fucking 7 mana. Holy shit, man. You guys probably like, it took you that long to make that decision? No, I was just staring at Boonweaver Giant, bro. So, technically exactly lethal. I can BM him and sack the tokens and shoot him in the face. But, It's not Hearthstone, boys. No need for that. And there's no need for damage effects. Rani-san. Alright. Man, I don't get my bonus 20 gold for my first versus battle win. That's okay. I won't go on Reddit and complain. Oh, yeah, this will be next. I'll show you guys that next. That's, you know, like when I was making the Auras deck, I was lamenting the fact that, ah, man, we just don't have the pool for Sigil the Empty Throne. I think you can make it work in blue-white. I mean, it's not that I think. I know you can, because I fucking tested the shit out of it off camera. It's basically a blue-white, you know, enchantment deck, but it also runs tutelage, and you would think, like, well, sigil tokens like want to beat down and kill you, and tutelage just wants to mill you. It all depends on what you draw first, like what your win condition is going to be. You draw tutelage first, then the sigil will, you know, lets you play defense until you mill them out, like, you know, if you're not going to beat them down. And if you draw sigil first and get that into play, well, the tutelage will still trigger the sigils because they are enchantments. And, you know, I run all the enchantment removal, or removal enchantments, whatever you want to call them. But I actually really like that deck, and that's probably, you know, this is the last of the gold card stuff, and then I'll do that deck next. Lord have mercy. 21-1. Hey, the old 7-lander into a 4-lander with, you know, we have the turn 5 Wombo. Not the greatest. I would much prefer, you know, Husk into steal and kill your dude on turn 4. But Hellhound's just fine. And if he's on, you know, Big Red or Big Gruul, we should be alright. Sunblade, there he could be, you know, he could be an aggro deck. Just a straight up elf deck that wants to run Sunblade without the... So here I'm actually going to Dragon Fodder. Like, I value my Perilous Mirror a little bit more. Because if it were me, like, if I didn't value that Sunblade Elf, I would actually swing with it, seeing if I would block with Perilous Mirror, you know, before I played my other dude. But if he goes Plains here and swings, I probably will double block. Well, you know, I'll just snap off a block on this elf now. And if he does nothing, I will swing with both my guys and have Perilous Mirror back on defense. I mean, he could have a Might of the Masses, which, not too concerned with. If he wants to use a Might of the Masses to save his dude and kill 1/2 of a Dragon Fodder, then he can be my guest. I get slightly punished here by Grasp, but I'll bluff the Fiery Impulse, and I actually mash Y just to, if I did have it, which, you know, we know it's not in the deck, at least it'll kind of disguise, you know, if we do have it or not, if we just, you know, turbo through our phases. So still not going to swing with Elf. Alright, so now we have double Hellhound. If he doesn't have removal for Hellhound, we have the 2-for-1 with our mirror. Sack our mirror, do 1 damage from Hellhound. I'm not going to swing. Do 1 damage from Hellhound to the Elite Vanguard, and then the 2 damage from the mirror dying to the Sunblade Elf. And that's a problem for this deck. It is not going to be a fun time. Alright, so before he gets to his 5th land, we're actually going to do it now, which means we can't play our other Hellhound this turn. But I do not want him to get his 5th land, and then, you know, we got to start worrying about Sunblade Elf shenanigans. Now I could offer up the Hellhound trade here. But I think I'm going to wait on that because then, you know, I got to take another turn off to get another Hellhound into play. Because I still want this Act of Treason to be live. So I'll hold off for now. The good thing, though, we can beat these with the Fleshbag Marauders. So, you know, this deck can beat Gaia's Revenge and Hexproof dudes. Oh my. Another Act of Treason 2-for-1 incoming. So, yeah, so it's a good thing we didn't offer up the Hellhound trade there. So he's... Oh, I did not crack my fucking Evolving Wilds. There I go, making fun of Hakeem for doing shit like that. And then I'm going to go and do shit like that. Sorry, Hakeem. So, you know, we'll just get our 1 damage in. I still don't want to offer up the Hellhound yet. Yeah, we drew a land that turn, too. We could have stripped that out. Even though I would have got a mountain, but it would have shuffled our deck. So, yes, I am a dumbass. Just do this now. Watch I lose the game because of that. And do I need to play this 6 land? Yeah, why not? I mean, we still have Cruel Rival, but it's just gonna be a straight up removal spell because we got no zombies in the grave. Really, all we have is a Perilous Mirror. But if this thing starts getting enchanted, we are in trouble. All right, land off the top. He's at 17, so I don't want to start suiciding these guys in yet. Actually, to play around Celestial Flare, I will. She flares, and I could just sack one of the tokens. Alright. Yeah, I want to do damage to the Elf Broad. So we're gonna need to find something eventually, but you know, he took 6 damage that turn. And then the good thing about the Hellhound is, you know, once you get him low enough, you can just machine gun away your own board. I'll play the land just in case I need to sack 2 things. He could have a Tragic Arrogance, and I want to get, you know, the 2 points of damage in. Is it Boonweaver Giant time? I mean, if we draw a Fleshbag Marauder, this fucking game is just over. Maybe you heard me. I can't tell. Can they hear us? I mean, I'm talking into a computer mic. Oh, well. Show us what you got. Yeah, no, I want that thing off the table. I'm not going to sack it. And then, you know, like I said, we have the board fairly clean. So, you know, 3 power is not a fucking joke. Not a joke at all. And he might be done. I wonder what his last 2 cards were. But we drew a lot of land. I mean, I could suppose I could have sacked the Fleshbag there and shot him for 1 and found out. But, you know, that's pretty loose. I wasn't that curious. He was like a rank 1 boy. All right, so we're still shamed. I think the next like portrait change is at 20 or is at 30? Cuz that's when the next achievement is. But maybe it's at 25, I don't know. But I much prefer Chun-Li at the beginning. She was cool. The stupid Malakir, Edward Cullen vampire, he sucked. And now the Shame Nun, which is, I guess that's the Valerian Wardens, but she's the Game of Thrones Shame Nun. She's pretty cool. But I don't know what the next one is. But I do know this next game is the last one with this archetype. And then, like I said, I'll move on. I'll show you guys that blue-white enchantment deck. Look at this guy. It's like that one of the Cenobites from Hellraiser. Let's go, Hellraiser. But yeah, oh my god, if I would have lost to that AI, I would have been like, no, I deserve that win. Like, no, get the fuck out of here with that. If you want your gold and your rank, you must win the game. No matter if it's against the human or against the AI. That's just where I stand. Are we on the play? He's mulliganing. Mulliganing to 6, to 5, to 4. Never give up. Oh, and on the play. That sucks. Anyways, you know. Never give up. Don't let your dreams be dreams. My question is, do I get shadows on the field? Because he's not going to play 2 guys, so I probably won't. Oh, he's done. Nah, let's just Perilous Mirror. I mean, we have a pretty good draw right now, and he's stuck on 1 land. You know, get in our damage while we can. Now, I actually don't want to offer up the mirror here because I want him to play another elf. So I can get the Fleshbag, sacrifice my own mirror value. So we're going to be a little bitch. But again, we're still playing against this guy's deck. Just different pilot. So I do feel you still have to beat it. You're welcome to disagree. Just like, you know, people are on the other side of the fence, I'm disagreeing with you. Alright, so we're actually not going to get... No, we still get the 2-for-1 value. Yeah, it's a good swing for him, because I'm not going to block. Because I won't get the true value. True value hardware, boys. Too bad, you know, we're not at a 6 or 7 mana yet to have the full Fleshbag wombo, but that's okay. Actually, let's swing with the mirrors first. Because even if he blocks one, then, you know, it accomplishes the same thing. So you get an extra point of damage in. Shit's important. And then we go, what up, elf player? Because at least now we have a 3-power guy. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna sacrifice the Fleshbag. So, you know, it's kind of a... Because the Visionary kind of replaced itself, it's not like a true 2-for-1. Jagged Scar. Question is... Do I want to offer up the Fleshbag for just a Jagged Scar Archer? Do I want to use all my mana this turn? Yeah, you know, I'm gonna hit the brakes for just this turn. So I wanna start scrying my way out of this because we don't have a whole lot of gas right now. We got 2 Treason effects. He might just be on a hand of nonsense. You know, like I said, I usually want to get, you know, 2-for-1 value out of these mirrors. Alright. So, unfortunately, that's a... Oh, baby. A Priest of the Blood Rite. So, let's actually, let's do the mirror first. Because we either kill both his 1/1s, we kill his 3/3. Actually, no, we get a 2-for-1 if he blocks. Yeah, if he would have blocked that mirror at all, then we kill his Jagged Scar. So we'll be patient. I mean, we have a 5/5 flyer now. I mean, I could have swung him. I don't want to trade a Deadbridge Shaman for a 1/1. Like, even though it's still a 2-for-1, like, I'm just not happy with that trade. But I also got to watch out, you know, the more elves he gets, he can actually shoot down our boy here. So do I want to put him to the test? Yeah, let's get the... No, let's act. Because then we could play Dragon Fodder afterwards. So let's act this. So we're guaranteed, like, if he starts blocking, something's going to die. And then let's just go in. Because, you know, if he starts trading away, like, some of these elves, then... I mean, I keep forgetting it's the computer, but still. You know, his Jagged Scar gets a little worse. Nope. So, you know, we have three more Scry ones. Is Deadbridge what I want to be doing? He only has 1 card left. I don't think that's what I want to be doing. Nope. And I'll take a Treason. Like, it's damage. I mean, he's at 6. I mean, I don't think he can get out of this. Oh, yeah, what's funny is we had a... Oh, there goes our Shadows of the Past. Where is he going to shoot the Perilous? Why? In what universe is that correct? So we'll just shoot you in the face. Yeah, we'll keep that. You know, theoretically, he could have gone another land, 1-drop elf, and then kill our token. But, you know, like I said, keeping the act was good because then we get the Jagged Scar. Not that it matters. And let's troll the computer. Let's get our BM on. And then just swing with everything. Why not? And that's the Rakdos more sacrifice than steal deck. You know, pretty decent. Like, I would say you don't really want to play like a lot of super aggro. You don't want to play against the Thopter deck with this deck. But, like, you know, a lot of mid-range decks, like, you probably don't want to play against a control deck with this deck. Because, you know, your combo pieces will die. And usually we'll have a lot of dead active Treasons. I thought the archetype was better last year because, you know, we had Blasting Station. So that's usually a lot safer sack outlet. But all our sack outlets are creature-based this year. At least for now, until, you know, Battle for Zendikar comes out. But anyways, so yeah, all 10 gold card archetypes done. Sorry I said I was going to, you know, finish over the weekend. But 9 out of 10 ain't bad, right, guys? So that's all 10. We played 30 games, 26-3 and 1. So pay to win, boys, dollar boys. But I'll be back later again to show you that blue-white enchantment deck. Thanks everyone for tuning in and for your support. Since tuning in is your support, even you guys who comment, negative comments, positive comments, it's all good, man. If I, you know, snap back at you, well, whatever. Like if you leave a bad comment and, you know, I make fun of you for it or get combative with you, then, well, what did you expect? But I still appreciate any comments. All right, guys, later.